Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another hard-hitting episode of the Callous Mind Talking Head Sportscast. In this week's episode, we're talking Week 9 picks, we're talking Week 8 pick results, we're talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Oklahoma Sooners, and a variety of things. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to kick off today's show by talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are currently trailing in the World Series 2-1 after losing Game 3 at home last night. I was really hoping that they would be able to clinch here at home, but unfortunately that will not be the case. So now it's just win the World Series. You know what I mean? Nothing too difficult, right? All right, so I got to talk about my beloved Oklahoma Sooners. Unfortunately, they did fall this past weekend to Kansas, 38-33, and that's inevitably what happens when you start playing close games. Is it eventually bites you directly on the ass, and you end up losing one of those games. So I said a couple of weeks ago I didn't have a lot of confidence that Oklahoma would finish the season undefeated, and unfortunately, that prediction came to fruition. I wish my lottery numbers would come to fruition as well, you know what I mean? In other college football related news, Georgia wins again. Not a huge surprise there. Ohio State takes down Wisconsin. Florida State defeats Wake Forest. Washington beats Stanford. I've already highlighted Oklahoma losing. Texas wins again. Oregon beats Utah. And look at that right there. The Arizona Wildcats take down the Oregon State Beavers. How about that? Let's see, and I think USC is on here somewhere as to have gotten a really... Yeah, there they are right there. Look at that. USC 50, Cal 49. So USC came within an eyelash of suffering another loss. Wow. They are playing the razor's edge, and look at Colorado losing their fourth game in the season, losing to UCLA by the score of 28-16. In sad news, I want to say rest in peace to Matthew Perry. This guy entertained me for many years as I was a fan of the show Friends. I also loved him in the movie The Whole Nine Yards, so I believe that was the name of that one. But Matthew Perry, rest in peace, sir. I want to thank Spartan Coins for sponsoring today's video. If you're in the market for custom challenge coins, custom lapel pins, or custom patches, be sure to check out Spartan Coins by visiting spartancoins.com. My 2023 NFL Week 8 pick results were 10 wins, 6 losses. Bills win, Cowboys win, Vikings win, the Dirty Birds lose, New Orleans win, the Dolphins win, the Jets won the Battle of New York, the Steelers fall to Jacksonville. That one kind of befuddles me a little bit. I figured that Pittsburgh would be able to stymie Jacksonville, but it didn't work out like that. The Eagles win, the Texans lose to the lowly Carolina Panthers. The Cleveland Browns, which if you look back in the video last week, I hadn't picked a selection frame or put a selection frame around this game, but I did choose Cleveland in that game and they lost. Kansas City, that's the surprise of the weekend, going to Denver and losing and being really stifled the way that they were offensively. Kudos to Denver. Maybe they're starting to build some momentum there. The Ravens get a win at Arizona on the road. The Bengals get a win on the road in San Francisco. The Chargers defeat the Chicago Bears, and the Raiders suffer a terrible loss at the hands of the Lions on Monday Night Football. My 2023 NFL Week 9 picks are as follows. Thursday night features Tennessee visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to try this again. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers at home to get the win against the visiting Titans. Sunday's matchup start with an interesting one. Miami visits the Kansas City Chiefs. And I got to say, given the woes Kansas City faced with the Denver Broncos, and given the fact that Miami is a high-powered offense, I'm going to take the visiting Miami Dolphins here to get this big win on the road at Kansas City. The next game, Minnesota visits the Atlanta Falcons, and I know the Vikings just traded for Joshua Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals as Kirk Cousins is injured, but I'm going to take the Dirty Birds in this matchup, so I'll take the Falcons at home to get the win against the Minnesota Vikings. Next game, the Arizona Cardinals visit the Cleveland Browns. I wish I knew a definite starter for the Cardinals in this game, because if it was Kyler Murray, I would be more tempted to choose them in this game. However, I will take the Cleveland Browns at home to get the win against the visiting Arizona Cardinals. The next game features the Los Angeles Rams visiting the Green Bay Packers, and I think the pain continues for the Packers, so I will take the Los Angeles Rams on the road to get the win in Green Bay. Now, granted, the travel from west to east or central United States, Midwest, and the temperatures there could play a factor in Green Bay's favor, but I will take the visiting Rams on the road. Next game, Washington at the New England Patriots, and I think the New England Patriots can get this one right at home, so I will take the Patriots at home to get the win against the Commanders. Next game, the Chicago Bears visit the New Orleans Saints, and I will take Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints at home to get the win against the Chicago Bears. The next game, Seattle visits the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm going to take Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens at home to get this win against the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Next game is Tampa Bay visiting the Houston Texans, and I will take the Buccaneers on the road to get the win at Houston. Next game, Indianapolis visits the Carolina Panthers, and I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts on the road to get the win against the Carolina Panthers. The next game, the New York, they might be football giants, visit the Las Vegas Raiders. And as always, as it pains me to say, I will take the Raiders at home to get the win against the visiting, they might be football giants of New York. Next game, NFC East matchup, Dallas visits the Philadelphia Eagles, and I will take the Philadelphia Eagles in this game to fly at home against their division rival Dallas Cowboys. Next game, Buffalo visits the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm going to take the Bengals in this game. Buffalo has been up and down. The Bengals seem like they are getting right. So I will take the Cincinnati Bengals at home to get this big win within the AFC against the visiting Buffalo Bills. And then on Monday, November 6th, 2023, Monday Night Football features the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the New York Jets. And I'm going to take the visiting Chargers on the road to get the win at the New York Jets. So I want to do a little Raiders talk here to kind of segue to the end of the show. First question is, fellow Raiders fans, are you happy with the state of the team? Obviously, at 3 wins and 5 losses, you're probably not very happy. But my question is it coaching? Is it Josh McDaniels? Do you feel like somebody else coming in, the team would be better? Do you feel like a more steady quarterback would be better? Essentially, I know it didn't happen exactly as a trade, but essentially, the Raiders traded Derek Carr for Jimmy Garoppolo. And have the results been any better? I mean, I don't know what we were going to get. I thought that if Garoppolo was familiar with McDaniel's system, then that would, benefit the Raiders and they would be better this year than they were last season. But that's not what I'm seeing. And if you look at their point totals, the regular season, they beat the Broncos 17-16. Then they lost to the Bills 38-10, lost to the Steelers 23-18. Lost to the Chargers 24-17, beat the Packers 17-13, beat the Patriots 21-17, lost to the Bears 30-12, and lost to the Lions 26-14. So the Raiders have scored 17 points, 10 points, 18 points, 17 points, 13 points, 17 points again, 21 points, 12 points, and 14 points. So it looks like their highest point output for the season has been 21 points, 3 touchdowns in one game. I tell you what, that's embarrassing. If you are supposed to be an offensive-minded head coach and your offense can't muster any more than 21 points, man, there is something wrong, or multiple things wrong. But, you know, as a fan, I mean, I know it's painfully going to continue. I know that it is, but what's the answer? I mean, firing Josh McDaniels, who are you going to get to replace him? And then what do you do, at quarterback? Because you need somebody who can manage the game, and I think Garoppolo can do that. I don't think he's going to go out there and win you games, but I think fixing the offensive line is a great place to start, as I've mentioned in previous videos. But this always seems to be the thing, man. If you have a bad offensive line, it doesn't matter who you have back there. If they're going to get destroyed and get injured, it's not going to matter, because you're going to end up playing with a backup and not being able to score points. And you can see, even at their best, the Raiders are winning by what? 1 point, 4 points, 4 points. I mean, it's not like they're an offensive juggernaut. They're an offensive juggernaut. I'm constantly offended by them, but they're not an offensive juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. That's going to do it for this episode of the Callous Mind Talking Head Sportscast. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Please, please, please be safe on Halloween tonight. Please, please, please be good to yourselves and each other. And I will talk to you all next week. Have a great first day and first weekend of November. God bless. See ya.